All right, mate, we'll take a look at this one in depth. Congrats on the diamond. Glad to hear that you actually feel like you've been there. A little bit of Ramancha, a little Winston, a little Diva, a little Rissa. That's all right. Welcome back. We did fairly well this game overall and had a few plays that I'm super proud of, particularly this one play where I predicted where the Moira was going to fade. I used the Moira main in Overwatch 1. I won't hold that against you. But I thought it was still a great game by both teams. I've been away for several weeks now, so make sure I'm contemplating intent. From Sun Drops. Okay, Sun Drops is sick. All right, let's take a look here. So, Diva stuff. Obviously, you were the infamous live Diva coaching, Dive Diva that we talked about. So, we'll see how we're doing with that. One of the nice things about Numbani, though, is that a lot of times you'll have opportunities to even shoot tank, depending on the map, depending on how isolated that tank is. So, as always, it's a game of whack-a-mole. Who's the most aggressive? Who's the most punishable? And making a decision off of that. Let's take a look. So, first things I'm seeing versus their comp is there are some dive targets on the backline, but there are a lot of targets that you can deal with. That's like the Diva classic. So let's see. Like, for example, right now, you kind of get juked here. But right now, who's your target priority? Who's your target priority? You know, you could trade with Jungler Queen on point. I think, like, I haven't done that 1v1 enough to know, but I do think that, like, I think you actually might have a slight edge in that 1v1. Maybe. So not the worst thing you could do. You could kill the Moira on top. But I'd probably say, ready for this? Peeling the Reaper. Why? Well, because that's a very favorable 1v1. A 1v1 you can have a lot of impact off of, and he's also playing significantly more aggressive than the rest of his team. Now, I don't think you saw him, but this is just a good thinking exercise nonetheless. Nice. Ah, oh, disaster. Good job. Unfortunate. And you can always do like little matrix flashes here for your team to peek and stuff like that. Again, here, like this Reaper is priority. Why are we calling peeling? Well, for crying out loud, look at this jackass. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. If this Ana peeked out here at the same time, that's a tough situation. I think either one can work, but you'd have to make the call, right? Now, you don't need to make this call. All you have to do is just see who's feeding and punish, right? So you could look at, some people would say this is peeling, but pressure is peeling, right? Now from here, nice. Good, it's fine. You notice, by the way, that the Ana is shooting you? So you've taken both the Ana and the Moira's attention. It's good. Nice. Now you're focusing Jungler Queen because she's the most aggressive. Hanzo's not quite punishable just yet. Now quickly get onto that Hanzo and light him up. Very good. I mean, it's Numbani first, right? It ain't that hard. Yeah, it's quite easy to do. But yeah, absolutely. Good. Now they're on Monkey, so that's a tank that you have a better 1v1 matchup on. So if the Winston and Reaper dive, then you can honestly deal with both. So let's see. Now if the Winston dives at the same time as the Ana takes an angle, now you got a bit of a tricky thing. So you can kind of see it here where you go very hard for the Reaper, but honestly, the Reaper TPing here isn't playing aggressive. You heard me right. He's not playing aggressive because look at how close his backline is to him. So you think you're playing the game of whack-a-mole here, but actually they're playing the game of whack-a-mole on you because look at your position in relation to your team. Half of your team isn't even doing anything right now. Your BAP, your SEM, your Lifeweaver is kind of doing anything. So you need to be really careful about this, right? Let them walk just a little bit further. Let the Reaper TP here. He doesn't do jack all until he gets about here, right? And then that's a position where you can actually punish him. So you're on a leash. Also, this is a bit strange. Full Matrix. I don't know why you drop bomb there. You can always reactively do it once you get demeched first, so that's a bit of a disaster. Your BAP kind of bailed you out. Oh, by the way, whack-a-mole, right? I mean, that guy was crazy. Good. Put him out. Now he's back with his team. There you go. You did your job. Now, again, you are the one gonna get whack-a-mole here if you're not careful. Now, you can do this, but you need to be careful because if I ask you, where's your Symmetra, where's your Lifeweaver, where's your BAP, where's your Ashe, you know the answer to that. 1, 2 members of your team are totally out of the fight. You're actually down 1 right now because your Ashe and Vap are the only one engaged with you, so you need to be really careful. Right? We could predict that this was going to be scary. Just because you have mobility doesn't mean that you should be always looking to engage. Look at where your team is set up. Look at where your team wants to push and play around that. Even here, why do you have no Matrix this fight? Because you've been doing a lot of peeking and poking outside of your team's LOS. Taking trades, even though you're like, oh, I'm not going to get punished. You did get punished. Look at your Matrix. The fight's starting, you don't have your Matrix, right? Now here, I think I would just go blow these guys up. You know, I think you could be worried about a little bit of what this Ana Moira are going to do, but you're like, well, I don't think they're a problem because they're on the cart or they're on the floor. So I think it's better for me to worry about what's going on over here, and I think that would be the best play. Now, do you go for Winston or do you go for Reaper? Not really sure. I don't think it matters too much. If you get a good general pressure on both, now that there's, for example, a Nano Winston, I wouldn't worry about the Nano Winston. I would worry about the Reaper. I'd worry about the Hanzo now. So for me, it's like find this guy. Okay, the Nano's out. Yeah, you get lost in the sauce. I'm gonna be honest with you. So right now, you need to find the target that's playing aggressive, whether that's Winston, Moira, Hanzo up top here, Reaper up top here. Literally, there's 4 different targets that you could go for, and you don't go for any of them. Right? This fight was very, very, very winnable. I might still be winnable, but this gets way more hectic than it needs to be because you kind of get lost in the sauce. So, you know, keep your composure, find the most aggressive target, and finish it off. Again here, I know this Winston jumps you, but you need to be really careful about peeking too much here. Your hero is not a poke hero. You get here and you start losing HP, you start wasting Matrix, then that just gives them a wide open... Like right now, you're down 150 HP and down your full Matrix. You need to be putting pressure on this Winston. You need to be putting pressure on this Reaper. Clear him off of high ground to make sure that this Coalescence doesn't get follow-up. But you're backing up. Right? You see that? You're backing up. You also have Bomb. You should be able to play this more aggressively if you want to. I think you lost the Reaper too. What does that Reaper do? Okay, never mind. Yeah, and then this is just, you've lost all the space, and so yes, you're on Ana, but you've missed, like, the key thing here is, like, at this point in time, the fight's already lost. It's already lost. You lost high ground for no reason. You put out 0 pressure before the fight, like, once the fight actually started, and then you do something from there. So it's kind of like a combination of the 2 problems for earlier, where you took too much pre-fight pressure poke, right? And then you just kind of once again got, I mean, you even used your micro missiles. You got lost in the sauce, right? You're just using cooldowns. You don't know where to go. Find the target. Find the target. Where's that Reaper? Where's it? Okay, I'm going to focus Winston now, right? Staying on that Winston would have been fine. Don't booster into him and fall off the high ground, right? Why are you using boosters when he's right next to you? The boop itself, the little bit of damage that the boop does, isn't worth the use of the cooldown there. So you need to be really careful about staying focused on a target once they break into your team's LOS or once your team pushes into theirs. You need to do a better job of that while you're avoiding getting pre-fight poke. I mean, obviously getting slept here kind of stings, but it doesn't really matter. One other micro thing as well, if we want to throw in some details, be really careful how you use your micro missiles here. Look at your missiles. You miss almost all of them. They are a close range, or medium range poke ability. You do not use them on a dive as you're closing the distance. Fly, Matrix, shoot, then missiles at point blank range. Like right here, missiles. Blam! Right? Like that, but obviously you need better mechanics than that. Nice. Still winnable. Good. Buying some time. That's a good use of missiles right there. That's what we want to see. Would die on point if you could. Definitely. Oh, maybe you can get out. Nice. Ah, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. You did a good job managing that one, by the way. That was very impressive. And even though you see 9, that means that you guys can actually close hold here. Again, be careful. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. Nothing is for free now. So I appreciate what you're doing. You're looking for a dive onto backline, but you have to consider your backline's positioning. What I would recommend is probably to let them walk out of the choke and maybe play over here for backline dives. It's hard though. Like you know, especially after our session where we were so adamant about talking about backline dives, there aren't going to be a ton of options here, right? Especially on this choke. So this might be hard. Really good cover usage, because you could honestly trade tank here as long as you're being very disciplined with your cover usage. Because you're a shotgun here, right? You can light up Sigma. This is good. Nice. That was really good. That was awesome. You saw that. You're not gonna always get those opportunities early in the fight, but mid fight, yeah, that was great. That's exactly what we were talking about in our live coaching. Same thing with the micro missiles, though. Chill. Like, if you want to clean this guy up, okay. But this just feels so messy. What I like to do is fly in with boosters and then micro missiles as soon as I start to slow down. That way, like right now, my micro missiles are just starting, and so bam, instead of them already being over, right? I don't think you get the kill here. I definitely don't think that necessarily forcing that deep by yourself when you're already down one would have made a lot of sense. Actually, you're down two. Well, your BAP isn't pushing with you, that's why. So this one's a little bit unfortunate. Yeah, I think like just from a micro perspective. Okay, that Reaper's TP'd. Good. I would micro missiles that. You can matrix and micro missiles, don't forget. Grab the mega to your left. Okay, never mind, we just back up. Well, the good news is that now we actually have a better time going for backline, because now the fight's kind of devolved. We can clear out this Reaper, and then now we can actually use our backline dives here. Get rid of him. He's out. Okay, now we can stage top for backline. Yeah, alright, good. This is good. Yeah, I mean, you didn't even need to go for backline when the backline's playing on the front line. That was good. Good matrix, focus the Reaper. I mean, this is a lot of ults. You know, you're good. You're good. I honestly think you're doing a fine job this fight. Maybe could have been a little bit more decisive with clearing out that Ana or the Reaper. But they had so many ults that fight that yeah, I think you did an okay job. Okay. Again, you can play frontline if you're super disciplined with your cover usage, but you have, like, this is the thing, like, you're right here, you're not taking a lot of damage because they're walking into you, okay? You need to, like, fly. So first off, you need to be matrixing on entry here. So when he turns the corner here, you need to have matrix on the entry. You're too low in matrix for this to work. So right there. And I also would do what I would call a drive-by. Fly through them to this angle here, grab the mega, and shoot them from the back. So not only are you better staged for backline, but you can actually like survive because you're playing cover. Instead, you stand out. This is what you can't do. This right here is what you can't do. I don't care if you want to occasionally hold the corner here and be super disciplined and win the frontline trade. Or you're playing cover, but you're doing the classic Plat Diva thing, right? With all due respect, this is the Plat Diva. You know it's a mistake as soon as you see it, so you're not Plat anymore, but you're still doing it occasionally, right? What is your Symmetra doing? What is your Batiste doing? What is your Sin doing? What is your Pharah doing? Or what range are you playing at? This is too pokey. You're gonna die here. So that lamp is like unbelievably clutch. But yeah, like you need to be way more disciplined with your cover usage there, and also trying to kind of utilize two-step staging. Fly on the main goal, get some cover, grab some health packs, and then you're gonna be a little bit closer going to the back line. Okay. And even here, you need to be careful, right? I know you're looking for a bomb, but you need to be careful. Nice. Much better use of missiles there once you're actually up close and personal. That was good. Yeah, I would probably prio Hanzo first. I think you realize that afterwards, but it doesn't matter. You light her up. Okay. Gets the Hanzo off, or the Hanzo off. I say the dragon. Okay, let's take a look here. So what I'm seeing so far is you take a little too much pre-fight poke before you do anything, right? Whether it's looking to peel on a Winston Reaper, whether it's looking for those backline dives, whatever. That's a bit of a problem. Okay. In addition, when fights get a little bit chaotic, you have a hard time locking down a target, so you kind of just bumble around without doing a whole lot of anything. Happened at least twice. You need to keep an eye on that. Be a little bit more decisive. Try to guess. Try to prepare. Try to pay attention to where the enemy team's going, so you don't have to react. You already can kind of see where they're going before they got there, so you know who you're going to be focusing on. The other thing that you could be doing better is just make sure that you are not taking too like when you are stuck in these like frontline wars, right? Because that's going to happen sometimes with DVA where you're not able to stage for backline, so you kind of have to take the frontline trait a little bit. I get it. Play super disciplined around cover. Play like a shotgun here at point blank range. Think about it this way: how would let me move my camera here? How would a Reaper play this? Right? Would a Reaper stand here and no? Reaper would hold this corner here and be like bam, 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 right? How would a Reaper play this? Would a Reaper stand out here and shoot here? No. Reaper would play right here and make them walk into him and blow them up, right? That's kind of like what your role is, what your job is in these circumstances, because if you're going to take a frontline trade, the only way Diva wins a frontline trade is to play it like Reinhardt. That's the only way. You're going to get spammed out by Sigma, you're going to spam out by Jungler Queen, you get spammed out and beamed out by Zarya, by Hog. You're going to get, honestly, you didn't get spammed out by a Ramattra, for crying out loud. Like, you could beat so many people in a close 1v1, but as soon as the things start to stretch out, we don't want you always doing the tank trade, but if it's unavoidable, you do need to get close. You need to play super disciplined on the corner. But beyond all that, avoiding pre-fight poke here. Now, be careful, because first off, this is not a very sneaky angle, right? And second off, it's just you. It's just you. Your Tracer ain't there yet. Your BAP hasn't quite rotated yet, so be careful. Maybe I'd fly and grab the Mega to my right here. I'd definitely fly and grab the Mega to my right. That allows my Mercy to stay in my far, and then I can go right back in and get faster. This is taking too long to heal you back up. Yes. Only problem here is you're flying and matrixing nothing. In fact, before you even fly, you didn't have even half of your matrix. This is why about being disciplined with your cycles. D.Va has a faster route cycle than Winston, right? Winston's got his whole bubble he's got to play around. You don't have to. You get healed up, you go right back in again. You have your full matrix, you go right back in again. That may take 3-4 seconds tops, right? But you need to take those seconds, right? You going in here at full matrix and actually matrixing something instead of matrixing air is the difference between this actually working, right? And this failing, right? I mean, it's that simple, right? You should have full matrix here on this Cassidy. Full matrix. Instead, you took, I mean, what was that? 600 damage? 650 damage? You matrix nothing, you just get hindered, then flash fan, right? That can't happen. You have to kind of keep your wits around you, and you need to be playing more around your resources. I like the idea of what you were doing, but the execution was really terrible. Now, that being said, I want to reiterate, I did like the idea of what you did. It was the right thing to do, to avoid the hog there and go for backline. Get a perfect angle for it. Shotgun hero. Oh, I guess the micro missiles as well. I almost forgot. Yes. Now this one makes a lot more sense because when you go for this, you have basically full matrix, right? Your Mercy kind of goes for brain dead res. And look at these micro missiles. Half of them landed, right? The right half, but half of them landed. Yeah, again with the missiles. Brilliant. And by the way, you could destroy a hog at point blank. See? Nice. Missiles. Don't do this. Shoot, then missile right now while you're continually pressing W. Or don't missile at all because you're like, oh, I gotta back out anyway, right? It's a short cooldown, but you gotta be smart with it. I go to drink a little bit of water and that's the first thing I see. Give me a break. You're better than that. Also, you're way outside your team's LOS. So even whether you're Tracer there, you need to be really careful. Look at how much HP you're losing before this fight starts. That's on a nade as well. Be so careful with that. Nice. By the way, another small thing. We talked about this once before. I'm going to bring it up again. First off, you never really built your matrix back before this fight actually started. So that's problem number one. Problem number two, micro missiles is fine. That's not the problem. Don't boosters. Look how many shots you're missing there because you boosted. Just micro missiles and stay in their face. Like the boosters is to reposition yourself or to get the extra little bit of boop damage. But like a lot of times it's like Genji dash. Sometimes people just like lose total awareness because they just use it for no reason. No reason to use it. You don't need to. No way. No way. Oh, she got slept. Light him up. Ah, missiles are a little... I mean, I guess the missiles, who's at 1 HP, so I guess it didn't matter that much. This is good. Good use of cover there. It's like a drive-by, right? We talked about that one earlier. Drive through the enemy team, kind of put yourself in a good position. Cover. Let yourself fully regen. Let yourself fully regen. Okay, now we go. And I would be sneaky here. I'd be thinking back to our dive days, right? Or our dive review. Trying to flank around, catch them off guard. Missiles were probably there because you thought that she was going to fly away. I'm not saying that you only missiles in point blank range, only. I'm just saying that you need to understand that it's most of the time a better play and understand when it's good and when it's not. Kind of that fat of a body there, you can use it whenever you want, really. Ooh, you're breaking all the timing rules, but I guess it doesn't matter. You're nanoed, I get it, you know. Nice. Now, I would be careful here. Just because you're up one doesn't mean you get the green light here. You're still low. You're still down half your matrix. The brig was 1, so it works, but you still need to be careful. Even though you're like, oh, we just have to keep him off of card, you just need to be careful. Okay, so, you know, the dive stuff looked pretty good. I think the decisions most of the time with who you're going for was fine. I think there was a little bit of a lack of discipline in the pre-fight poke department. And I also think just a little bit more awareness of like where you guys want to actually, like piggybacking off of that, where does my team actually want to fight so I can know where I want to do, and then not getting lost in the sauce about what's going on all at the same time. In terms of the micro, don't just missiles, don't just booster in these combos. Like like you need a good reason to use those cooldowns, right? I guess missiles a little bit less so, but there's some micro that you could do to clean that one up as well. I'm trying to think what else here. Oh yeah, fully regenerating your matrix and your HP going off of these cycles. Like you can do these cycles really fast, but again, like think about like how cheap that D-Mech was on that Cassidy. You know, it's like that's the difference between half matrix and no matrix. Not to mention also kind of getting lost there. But okay, let me know if you have any questions, and I'll chat with you later.